Listen, this is the general session, and the exhibits will start when the general session is over. I know on our agenda it says 8 o'clock. We may run a little bit late. As I say, it's a 3-day show, and there'll be plenty of opportunity to obviously maximize the show if you're a vendor or a member, but this general session is important. We have quite a bit to cover. It won't go too late, but what I will ask, when it does conclude, I'd like the members to stay and the vendors to get about a 5-10 minute head start to get in their booths. I've been in those booths. It's like a shotgun blast once the members come in, which is great, but they're gonna wanna be prepared. So if you could accommodate that, I'd appreciate it. I'm gonna take some time and go through a few different things. One, I'm going to start off by helping everybody take advantage of this show. We do have a heck of a show planned for you. Then I'm going to call up your new board president, Scott Herling, over here. And Scott has a few things to say and a great message, which I'm going to speak to in a moment. And then I'm going to give you an update on ALLPRO, how we finished last year, the investments that we're making for this year, things that you can expect. And I'm also doing my favorite part is the member recognition. You still hear me? Halfway? Member recognition. Improvise. Can you hear me now? All right. Member recognition. That's the favorite part when we get to bring up members and acknowledge their achievements and take a nice picture. So we'll do that. And then one of my favorite parts is finishing with upcoming events. Does everybody remember where we're going this fall? Were you paying attention to those slides, seeing some of the events? Hopefully that will get you excited for it. So first, you notice something. We have some messaging here. Strength and unity. And, hold on, let me switch back. What I do when we have a new board president is I invest the time to work with them. And think about it, our board president is basically represents all of you as our membership and our supplier partners as well. And one of the things that we try to do is come up with an agenda or a vision. What would you like to see in the upcoming years with your presidency? And Scott came up with strength and unity. It's something that means a lot to him. And we talked about it, what it means. And in reality, it's going to mean different things to different people. And I'd like to start off with what it means to me as a representative with ALLPRO. Then Scott's going to come up and give you what it means from a member's perspective. And strength and unity for me, it's a very emotional thing for me as somebody who works with all of you in this room. And I look at ALLPRO. We have about 300 members. We have about 160 supplier partners. And they both went through a very similar process to get here in this room. If you're a member, whether you joined in 1960 or you joined last week, it was basically the same. You worked with the business development team, you submitted financials, you were presented in front of a board of directors, they approved you, and then you signed a memorandum of understanding agreeing to participate in the group, agreeing to adhere to the rules and the expectations of the group. And on the other side, on our supplier partners, it's the exact same process, except they work with a purchasing committee. They produce a program that fits the tenets of ALLPRO. They were approved by a board of directors. They were given a letter of understanding that they signed that documented the program. And then they have their expectations. And it's that commitment that we make to each other as a member and a vendor. Because at the end of the day, the members buy stock and own the group, and the vendors join the group. But they're both ALLPRO. And it's the working together with the members and the vendors and supporting each other and helping each other and partnering with each other is our strength and unity. The better that we can commit to each other and work together in good times and in challenging times, there are no limits to how far we can take this group. Because everybody in this room is ALLPRO. This is our group. And you saw from that video, it's a pretty special group. And we've accomplished quite a bit in the last 50 plus years, but specifically in the last 5 years. We've accomplished a lot. And it's all about that partnership and living up to our commitments to work together. And Scott's going to come up here in a little bit and give you what a member's perspective of that is. But this is new for us to have a rallying cry for our shows, and you'll see more of this in the coming years. All right. add a little levity to the room now. Exhibits, why we're here. We have a great exhibit hall. I went and toured it this morning, and other than a couple pallets that I got a little upset with and a little bit of garbage that I had removed, it looks phenomenal. And we have 136 suppliers. Every one of the suppliers put together great show-only promotions, which we're very appreciative of. And like all other shows, we stock this show with a lot of spiffs. Does everybody like the spiffs, by the way? Is that something you guys look forward to? Oh, come on. Really? If it's not that big of a deal, because let me tell you, it is almost like a drug deal trying to get cash to come to these shows these days, but we still managed to do it because I don't want to answer to you if we couldn't. In order to take advantage of the spiffs, everybody has to make sure they downloaded the show app. And I don't know how the Wi-Fi is going to work here. Hopefully it's going to work well. But make sure that you download the app and that you make sure that it works. Because how it works, for anybody that's new, we incentivize our members to visit your booth. We pay a $2 cash spiff for that visit. Members, the spirit of that is that you allow the supplier partner the opportunity to present themselves and their business. It's not a quick scan and I'm out. Remember, it's only $2. And so the way it works is obviously the vendor scans the badge and documents the stop. So if you have any issues, please go to the ALLPRO booth. We have a myriad of other spiffs here. We have the $20 spiff for any member that places a private label order. Again, vendors, this is important that you listen to this. If a member comes in your booth and you're selling the ALLPRO brand and they produce and they buy freight prepaid, they're going to give you a form, and please sign that form. That means they qualify for a $20 spiff. It's the honor system, but make sure they buy the stuff. And then we've run a whole myriad of promotions leading up to this show, the 3M and some of the primer ones we've done and others. We have those orders recorded. Your spiff you can go collect at the ALLPRO booth. Then, not to be left out, we had a whole myriad of other vendors that wants to participate in the spiffs. So as you navigate the show floor, there is plenty of opportunity to earn cash. And how many people were here last year, or the spring show last year? Show of hands, a lot? Well, it's good to see new people. I got on stage and I'm like, we'll never have lines again, and I'm never doing the Visa cards again, just to find out we had enough lines that looked like a Rolling Stones concert on Saturday, and we ran out of money. I had to actually borrow money to make sure that I paid your spiffs. So I make no commitments on this one, other than we have a lot more money, and I hope I don't run out of money, and I do know who to borrow from if we do run out of money. But you could help us by going up early and trying to collect your spiffs and not waiting to the last hour on Saturday. So with that said, all right, 20 line club, I'm always going to talk about this. I always say the same thing. Some of us have fancier badges than others. Thank you for your support. It's not just a testament to your support of the ALLPRO brand, it's a testament to your support of our buying group, and very much appreciate it. Happy to say we have 116 members. 39% of the group that's part of this elite crowd. That's the good news. The bad news is last year we had 118, it was 40%, so we dropped 2. So we're going to have to make up some ground on this one. Bottom line is it makes us a stronger group, and if you would like to participate and become part of the 20 line club, we have 100 feet of merchandise, ALLPRO branded product at this show at the exhibits. All of them have a combination of discounts and spiffs, so it's real easy to become a 20 line club member. The other thing I'd like to say on this, at some point you're going to get more than a fancy badge. I don't know what I'm going to do to just show our appreciation, but I'll think creatively. Maybe you'll get an extra Guinness tour in Dublin or something like that, but I'll come up with something good. New members, as speaks to the health of our group, we have 4 new members I'd just like to welcome. Hold your applause until I announce them all. Revere Paint, Fayetteville, Georgia, Jeff Sabo. Stevens Paint and Blinds, Corning, New York, Kelly and Jeremy Wenzel. And I think you have a store in the Florida Keys too, that's cool. Billings Paint Center, Billings, Montana, Justin Meyer. Then the paint store in Carbondale, Colorado, Brandon Ader. Technically, that was an existing member bought by somebody new, and it already feels like a new member, so we'll call him a new member. Let's give him a hand. Welcome to the group. On the topic of new members, it's our job as ALLPRO Corporate to keep moving this group forward, and our supplier partners invest the majority of their entire career on you. And we have to make sure that they have more and more opportunities to expand their brands. And it speaks to the health of our group because guess what? Our competition's getting bigger too. So very, very happy. The last thing I'll say in this, if you see somebody with a guest badge or a new member badge, please go out of your way to introduce yourself. The only thing that I can say, what it's like to come into this room, if anybody ever went to somebody else's class reunion, that's what it's like coming here if you're new. Like everybody knows each other. I mean, you saw the videos. So if you don't know anybody, you feel a little left out. So please go out of your way. It's one of the reasons why we do the Next Gen and some of the things that we do to bring people together. At this show, first time ever, we have a decorating booth manned by our decorating department. We have Sharon McGuckin with J.C. Licht, Shannon Scarella with Hirschfeld's, and Elizabeth D. Jager with Rings End. Thank you, first of all, our decorating committee. Give them a hand. They're donating their entire time to sit in a booth. I can tell you they served on this committee for multiple years. All three of them have exceptional decorating departments, and it's a gift. Any member can go into this booth. They represent all the different brands in the category, and they can help you get to first base in decorating. They can answer any questions, give you some of the best practices they do. It's that knowledge sharing and open book, so please take advantage of it. Do you guys see the women's empowerment event in that video, the opening video? We had 100 women, I think, because I wasn't allowed in there, show up for that. To me, it just warms my heart to see how special that was. And even though I wasn't in there, it was special for a couple reasons. One, it's an amazing thing to do to bring women together and have them support each other and have our group support that. Two, and it speaks to our unique culture, this whole entity happened with bringing together 6 members and 6 suppliers that formed the committee. And their committee names are up there right now. They donated their time starting in December on conference calls and put together the agenda and executed this from the beginning to the end. In addition, and I didn't list their names, and I do have to thank you sincerely, we also had a panel discussion. And if anybody ever sat in front of 100 people and were asked questions about your experiences, and not all your experiences are good, some of your experiences are challenging. It's the hardest thing you can do. And we had 6 people sit up there and open up for the betterment of the entire event. So amazing event. You'll hear more about that soon, but real quick, thank you to the committee. Give them a hand, please. They worked hard for this, and thank you for the panelists. Next on the docket is our Next Gen. They never want to be left out of a party. I figured that out pretty quickly. They have an event today. It's paint trivia. And if you haven't signed up for it, you still can. I think we have to limit it to about 100 people. That's all I'm given in the open bar. But no, it is beverages and lunch, but more importantly, this committee worked really hard to put this on. First of all, they're very competitive. They all have their own questions and they won't share it with each other. So there is some legitimacy to this actual paint trivia. Should be an amazing experience. So if you want to participate, please sign up for that. That's in the Larkspur Indian Paintbrush Room. I have no idea where that is or even if that's a real name, but I'm sure you'll find it. It's a big party. On that topic, again, the Next Gen committee works really hard. They put together a network in LinkedIn for the Next Gen. So if you get a chance, stop by and scan the QR code. And if you are a member of the Next Gen, I highly recommend you participate in this and become. It's this communication network that brings people together. In 2025, you shouldn't be just communicating when you see each other at shows. There's so many options to talk to each other. All right, last thing on the show. Scott, you're on deck. Closing party. Our closing party is going to be really cool. Who went to the Kinneby Ranch in 2020? Show of hands. Was it fun? Well, there's a lot of people that didn't. So the cool thing is we're at a real live working Texas cattle ranch, steaks on a grill, a great band, live entertainment. Just think of everything cool in Texas. The bad thing is it's not here. We have to get on a bus. So the buses are going to pick us up right outside the exhibit hall, and they're going to start running from 5:30. And it's going to be a continuous loop all the way, until it's over. And I usually extend it by half an hour because everybody's looking like they're having fun. So make sure you attend the closing party. It's going to be a great one. Scott.
Hey, everyone. Does everyone hear that all right? I have some notes because I'm not a great public speaker, and I want to make sure this is shorter than Elliot Greenberg and Mike Weber's speeches. So my name's Scott Herling. I'm the Vice President of Paint and Marketing at Rings End in Darien, Connecticut. We're a third-generation, 123-year-old building material supplier. We recently expanded throughout New England, and ALLPRO and the network of retailers in ALLPRO was super helpful in getting that done. I want to thank the ALLPRO team first and foremost. The effort that you guys put into putting on these events is incredible. So if you haven't seen what they do, it's really impressive to watch them work, and thank you all for what you guys do. My first ALLPRO event was over 11 years ago, and I immediately saw what a unique and special organization this was in our industry. I came from the marketing industry, so the networking and idea sharing that goes on here was formative in my career and super helpful for our growth at Rings End. I hope you all take advantage of that. It's going to be the honor of my career serving as your board president, and I'm really excited for the next year. Mike Weber, Mike Beaudoin, and I have talked a lot about channel unity. That's what this message is all about here. As a retailer in New England, our most densely populated retailer market as ALLPRO, I'm no stranger to competition. The fact is, though, when we all conflict and compete, the only winner is Sherwin-Williams. When we're here at the shows, we have this spirit of unity and collaboration. We need to work on bringing that back to where we all operate at our stores and in our markets. Truthfully, if we support each other and support our loyal supplier partners, we're all going to win. An engaged, focused, and aligned independent channel is going to be a scary competitor to Sherwin-Williams, and I know that we can do that together. Over the next 3 years, we expect to grow this group to over $2 billion in revenue. That will be beneficial to everybody in this room and the teams back home, and it'll make us more competitive as a group. Working together, we'll get that done. Again, I'm excited to serve as your board president, and I look forward to hearing more from you on the sales floor today. Thank you all, and enjoy the show.
Great job. Awesome. Good job, buddy. Thank you, Scott. I love it, again, working with Scott, and I'm obviously very sales focused and moving things forward, and $2 billion sounds good. I remember putting the let's get to $1 billion in 2020, and to think that we could be $2 billion in a few years shows a heck of an accomplishment of what we can do together. So, all right, let me give you a quick recap. I'm going to talk about how we finished 2024, but not a lot, because 2024 already feels like 1,000 years ago. I'm sure it does for your businesses as well. I reported at the stockholders meeting that I think we're going to finish right around 8%. We finished at 7.2, right around $1.5 billion. I'm budgeting 3.5% growth. And I know all the paint manufacturers right here are saying I'm out of my mind. Remember, we're dollars, not units. So that is a very realistic dollar growth. And again, keep that into perspective. We grew $500 million in 5 years. So we have a good track record. Our distribution business finished up 22% at up 6.3 million, closing in at 36 million. I'm budgeting a 10% growth for that, and I'll explain why in the next slide. And the ALLPRO private label couldn't hit 40 million, could we? We grew at 8%, right around what ALLPRO did, and I'm budgeting that to get a 10% growth, mainly because we got Justin Richards, our new business development manager. Let's give him a hand. Justin, stand up. No pressure, Justin. That's your budget. All right, investments. I'm going to go a little quicker on some of these because I want to talk about Dublin. And I actually want to invite up some of our members. So we're investing in a new website for our distribution. The biggest upgrades to this is a much enhanced search feature, plus, obviously modernizing tiles instead of lists. But the biggest upgrade for this is we want to make it so that you can extract and order from your ERP systems, dump it into Excel, and just dump it into this site without having to manually enter anything. And Bradley over here, stand up, Bradley Calkins, has been working on this, so no pressure, Bradley. He's putting it together. This is going to be a big upgrade, and that's in about 2 months. Now, I want to talk about distribution, and I want to talk about, again, strength and unity. So our distribution business obviously become very important. It's growing. And our ability to perform for you is important. Does anybody get a check lately? We just mailed out $5 million worth of VIP checks, right? That's an impressive number. That number is a direct relation to your support of our supplier partners. So the more volume that we keep in this group, obviously, the better this checks and the better we do in the eyes of our suppliers and the better that you do as a member. And keeping the volume in the group is very important and helps us. So we have our distribution centers, the ones that you own, ALLPRO, and we have member distribution centers that are just as important. When you buy from a member distributor, you're keeping the volume in the group and you're buying from yourself. Think about it. They're another member owner, just like you. They take care of their employees. They're pillars in their communities. But it's a way to utilize distribution and keep the volume in the group, and it helps us with our VIPs, and it helps us perform for our supplier partners. The other part of this is there are many brands that are very important in this room that you need, and they're traded with every other channel. They're traded with the home centers and Sherwin-Williams and Amazon and whatnot. And the one advantage those channels have over this channel is they have the power of the pen. They can place large multi-million-dollar orders, leverage that volume for discounts, and use that discount to try to win market share. Now, it's my job to make sure that we have similar promotions and we can defend against that. The more volume that you keep in the group, particularly with some of these lines that are traded throughout all of their channels, helps us do our job to make sure that you're competitive. So the message is, the strength and unity, back at that, is giving member distributors and our distribution business the opportunity to earn your business and keeping the volume in the group to support our suppliers. Advertising. Scott's done a great job. Has anybody seen some of these targeting advertising? Please raise your hand. You get an extra drink. Listen, we're starting. It's a new evolution of ALLPRO. We've pretty much built out our distribution business, and now the next evolution is to do a better job creating a brand for ALLPRO for you. It's your brand, you own it, and it's really, if you think about it, it's more a brand for the independent paint stores, what we're trying to do. The awareness of that contractor that they can shop in independent. And Scott's done a great job starting with these targeted ads. We also attended the PCA show, had our own booth, and we met about 1,000 Sherwin-Williams contractors, is that right? So, and we had all this POP saying you have to shop local. At the fall show, we launched our first corporate video. It was a very heartfelt video, a commercial, and I encourage everybody to go into the Voila cinematic booth, and hopefully I said that correctly, and see that video. The intent of bringing this commercial together is that it's like the at-home magazine concept where we build it and a member can customize it and make it their commercial. In this particular case, Tanner Paint made it their commercial. And it can give you a 15 or 30-second commercial that you can start to market yourself either on social media, Instagram, cable advertising. And we're going to learn the best places to put this, but we're trying to help you advertise your businesses within your community. So there's a booth here, and I encourage you again to stop by that booth. All right, member recognition. I did say I'd go quickly on that stuff. So member recognition. This is the biggest deal for the members that get called up here. And what I'm going to do first is call up our $1 Million Club. And what's important about that, think about it. The first million is always the best, right? So let me call up all the members for the $1 Million Club. I'd like them all to come up on stage here. Anybody in your party is welcome to come up when I call your name. And let's applaud at the end. Paint Paris, Hackettstown, New Jersey, Matt Capano. We'll applaud. Burlington Design Center, Mount Laurel, New Jersey. Couldn't be outdone by the other New Jersey, Michael Keene. Moyer's Paint Company, San Lorenzo, California, Bill Moyer. Adams Paint Company, Lubbock, Texas, Jordan Reese. Manta Paints, LLC, Paramount, California, Aileen Moriarty. Arizona Paint Supply, Phoenix, Arizona, Lee Rippey. Paint Center, Abilene, Texas, Jeff Mowbray. And Paint CLE, Shaker Heights, Ohio, Matt Warren. Give them all a hand. Come on up. Congratulations. Hey, good job, Matt. Matt Warren. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Good job. All right, we got quite a few $5 million club. Meldrum's Paint Center, Cortland, New York. Caitlin Heed and Chris Reed, you can come up too. Sonoma Paint Center, Sonoma, California, John Barnes. South Bay Paints, Inc., San Jose, California, Mark Heffernan. And Professional Paint Center, Walnut Creek, California, Erasmus Salcida. And I'm going to call up our $10 million winner too, Cloverdale Paint, Surrey, British Columbia, Sarah Pandin. And that's all sundries too. Come on up. Congratulations. Sandra, congratulations. Congratulations, hey, Lindsay. Guess some of our $5 million club are sleeping in. Not you, though. Well, we got one more. Thank you, Basma. Cool. All right, two more. Little jump between these two. $15 million club, Pacoa, Port Washington, New York, Steve Geismar. Again, the whole team come up. And $50 million club, Rings End, Darien, Connecticut, Scott Herling. The fact that these two buy from each other is probably going to be a sales moment here. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Congratulations. And again, with Pacoa, that's $15 million worth of sundries. Thank you. Thanks. All right. Once you hit the $100 million plus club, you're always going to get a mention and a thank you. I do want to acknowledge that these two members, so you got Spectrum, and then you have the CamPro Decorated Buying Group. How many CamPro members are here? Oh my God, I thought you guys would be a little louder than that. Where's my Spectrum? Where's Spectrum? All right. They're even louder than you. Listen, that's a huge accomplishment. You're such a huge part of this group, and you know, a member wouldn't always understand when you have somebody as large as like a Spectrum. The first time we launch anything like our 401k, they're the first to step in and partner with us to help everybody else out. Same thing with CamPro. I can't tell you how many times I get Ken calling me and helping out. Two amazing members. I'm going to have to find a new sales plateau for both of you guys, but I'll never let a show go by without acknowledging your huge accomplishments. So thank you. Let's give them a hand. All right, we're doing okay. So we're going to fall. We're going to Dublin in the fall. Is everybody coming? Well, not everybody. I'm not hearing all the applause. Well, first of all, I use this slide in the fall, and it's the best slide that I can find. It's a really unique event. Just to speak to it first, why we're doing Dublin. When you saw that opening video, it just shows the human interaction of people. And I'm a firm believer that, you know, there's going to be great deals there, but you're not going to remember any of the deals you see. You've heard that speech from me before. This is a unique thing that we can do that you're never going to forget. And this is as much for our supplier partners as it is our members. And a couple things that are going to be different with this show. First of all, there's only going to be one badge, an ALLPRO badge. There's not going to be a member badge and a supplier badge. There's just going to be an ALLPRO badge at this show. The reason behind that is, my assumption is most of the vendors that come are going to bring their families as well as our members, and I want everybody to feel like they're part of the same team together, because we are. And so that's the first thing. Second thing is, I'm going to see if we can serve Guinness beer at the opening reception, at the general session speech at 7 in the morning. So that could be something different too. So if you're adverse to drinking a beer at 7 in the morning, this may not be the best show for you. All right, Scott gave me a whole list of stuff I got to tell you because he's the guy that has to figure out how to put this show on. I just dream it up. So one, you have to have a passport. I think everybody knows that. The sequence of events will follow very similar to a normal stockholders meeting, with the exception is you'll probably leave on an airplane on Wednesday, get there Thursday morning. It's a quick cab ride to the hotel. We ended up, when we put this together, we anticipated about 500 people coming. Now, we get about 800 people at a normal stockholders meeting, so 5 felt realistic. We did that survey. Now we think we may get more people at this show than at this show. Not quite that much, but about 1,000 people came back and said they're going to attend. And my assumption is we're going to get anywhere between 800 and 1,000. So I bought out the hotel. So we may be in a foreign country, but that one hotel is going to be exclusive to ALLPRO. And this hotel does have all the trappings we need for a normal show. A huge bar, so that's first and foremost, because that would get me murdered by you if we didn't have that. It has the exhibit area. Again, all the trappings that you would associate with it, except it's in Dublin. So we're going to have, where it's going to feel different is, we're going to start off with the opening reception Thursday night. The difference is I'm going to put some entertainment into that. I have this woman, Ali Sherlock. I got a quick little video I'm going to show you. She's a famous YouTuber, amazing talent from Ireland, who's going to sing. And then the next morning, we'll have our general session. I'm going to invite the suppliers to the general session. We typically don't do that for a fall show. We do elect new board members there, so just don't vote on the board members. And other than that, you're fine, but you can still drink the beer. And then after the general session, everybody's going to get on a bus. And you got to pick your tour that you want to go on. Some of the tours get back at 3. Others, if you did the Belfast tour, gets back at 6 at night. And if you do the Belfast tour, you have to do a visa because Northern Ireland's a different country. The visa's like $7, and Scott said it's like 3 minutes. It's not a hard thing to get. Listen, to make this work, I really need for everybody to declare if they're going early. Because if I find out we have an extra 300 people 2 weeks before the show, our ability to help and accommodate is much harder than a month before the show. So if we get 1,000 people, we can accommodate that. We just need to get more tours. So pick whether you're coming or not and pick your tour. And members, and you can thank your board. The board of directors has given all members $2,000 travel allowance to get there. $2,000. So give them a hand, your board. And how this is going to work, that I keep coming over here like you're the members and you're the suppliers, and even though it's all mixed. How it's going to work is if you want to fly first class and it's $2,000, we're going to reimburse it. If you want to bring 10 people and it's $2,000, we're going to reimburse it. You just have to spend it and provide receipts to get reimbursed. Make sense? We're going to come back from the tours on Friday. We're going to have a power hour like we normally do, a little bit of music, open bar, some food, and then go out and have fun in Dublin. I mean, there's pubs and everything. And one thing I learned, when in Dublin, don't call them an Irish bar. They're just bars. I was corrected. So, yeah. Pubs, even better. All right, and here's the last thing I'll say about this. Because we're all professionals in this room. No matter how late you go to the pubs, we're all going to get up early and do the exhibits because it is actual trade show. Our vendors, what I'm asking of you, when you come here, do not, or when you go to Dublin, if you go to Dublin, don't bring a lot of samples. A pop-up display is fine. We want to make it easy for you that you can go there. The emphasis will be on your deal, not your booth presentation. I want to make it so it doesn't cost you a lot of money to go and do this show because I want you to participate at it. But we have to make sure we do the show on Saturday. I won't take attendance, but I will try to remember if you weren't there. And don't forget, I owe you $2,000 by that point, so you probably want to be there. And then we're going to have the exhibits, and then after that, Saturday, you're going to have the whole day to have fun. All right, almost done. So we have, this year it's pretty cooked. We're here now. We have the Dublin show in the fall. Next year is hopefully going to compete with this year. We're back at Shingle Creek. It's the makeup show for 2021. The difference now is you have Universal Epic that's open right across the street. We're going to bring in some live entertainment and try to compete with the parks and make you stay for the closing party. And then in the fall, we're going to Vegas. Where's Jim Mallory? Is he here? Yeah, Jim Mallory's putting on the show for us. Think about it. This is a fun buying group. You're in Dublin one year and Vegas the next year, so it doesn't suck to be an all-pro. Again, we haven't put the agendas together, but we're going to make sure next year is fun as well. So with that said, let's have a great show. Our vendor partners, please leave first. Give them a little head start, and let's give everybody a hand and put some energy.